Amidst the fallout from COVID-19, many people will be filing their own taxes for the first time rather than going to a tax preparer. Joining us this morning, though, to ensure you maximize your credits and deductions and get the tax return you're entitled to is financial expert Jerry Viteratos. Jerry, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
This would I'd forgotten it because it was about a month ago they made the announcement. This would normally be a busy, busy week, but we've got a little bit of a break when it comes to filing taxes, right?
Yes, so with the COVID announcements that were done last month, the government gave all of us a break, essentially. So they've given us an extra month to be able to file our tax returns. So for this year, exceptionally, for the tax year 2019, our deadline for filing our tax returns are now June 1st instead of April 30th. So we essentially get an extra month to be able to file the return. The other break that the government gave us as far as the tax return is your balance due owing. So for example, normally your balance due is owed on April 30th. That would be under any other normal year. This year, they've actually extended it to August 31st. So this is a really great break given by the government because of what's going on right now, because of these unprecedented times.
It unprecedented does sum it up nicely. Is there anything for this year? I mean, this year, obviously, I don't think will be impacting your filing for 2019. Or are there any things that could have an effect that what we watched unfold over the last 3 months, 4 months, that could have an effect on your taxes from last year?
On the tax return directly, no. So all the changes that they've announced, like for example, the CERB, the other, the student grants that they've given as well, all these amounts are not going to affect anything as far as 2019 tax year. They will affect, of course, your 2020 tax year. The only major change I would say as far as this year, it's actually again related to the announcements that the government made recently, is to certain benefits that we collect based on our tax return. So for example, the GST credits, the quarterly payment that eligible taxpayers receive, this is based on your income for 2019. With the announcements that they made this year, they're actually doubling this amount this year, for exceptionally in the month of May. So they'll give you a double payment on that amount, and they'll give that as a one-time payment in the month of May. The other amount that they're increasing as well is the Canada Child Benefit. So this, of course, is the monthly amount that most Canadians receive who have young children under 18. They're also going to give a one-time payment of $300 per child, exceptionally this year, again related to what's happening right now with the pandemic.
Were there any other changes brought in from last year to this year that people may not be aware of, things that they often miss?
For this year, 2019, I would say the biggest one, there's really two of them. One of them is related to the home buyers plan. So of course, this is where you can actually borrow money from your RSP in order to put a down payment on your home. So what they've done is that they've increased that limit from $25,000 to $35,000. And that was for the tax year 2019. So this is one of the changes that they made. And this was, of course, before all this has happened and all the, the pandemic news had come out. The other thing that's coming out, but that's actually more related to next year, but it'll be related to this year, is the Canada Training Credit. So this is a new refundable credit that will be paid in 2020 based on your tuition fees in 2020. But in order to collect that amount in 2020, you have to file your tax return this year and create a limit, a cumulative limit of $250 by filing your tax return this year. And of course, there's criteria to be eligible for the limit, but you have to absolutely file your return in 2019 in order to get that credit for next year.
Okay, Jerry, we appreciate the great advice you gave us. Thanks very much for sharing those tips.
All right, thank you for having me.
Jerry Viteratos is a tax return expert. We've got more on BT coming up after the break.